Hello everyone, this is a presentation about preparing players and teams for the competition. I'm representing FC Shakhtar Donetsk Academy and all its teams. I've given all important information and relevant information on the slides so you can read it and familiarize yourself with the process that we have in the academy. With the voiceover, I'll try to cover some of the points that are missing or needs clarification or explanation. So we start with the brief explanation of how the academy works and what's the structure of the academy. In my opinion, the most important is that the academy itself is the creation of the president of the club, and academy needs to provide players for the first team. This is its first and most important task. And so it is that philosophy and the style of the academy comes from the history of the club and the needs and wants of the president of the club, Rinat Akhmetov. This is the most important. So all the staff, all the coaches, coordinators, directors, etc., they are chosen to implement and to facilitate the style and philosophy that we have already. So the players undergoing preparation and trainings in the academy after the years of preparation must be ready to compete on the highest level in the first team without any problems. This is the most important. The organizational structure of the academy itself. Each year we have some changes in the organizational structure, but in general, so we have the president, who is the head of the heads, is the main actor. Then we have our CEO, who is affecting all the decisions in the club and in the academy, and the person who is more involved in the processes and is in fact like the head of the academy as the sporting director. He implements all the needs that the club has for the academy. So beneath the sporting director we have academic coordinator, who is also called head of youth. Also we have other heads of the department, so head of analytics, head of scouting, head of performance, head of administration, etc. In general, the normal and common structure that is used in lots of academies. What we had in recent years, and is that before we had one director who was the academic coordinator in terms of style, trainings, and performance, and he was also the head of analytics, and he was also the head of administration. And then we started to have more, let's say, not professional, but more modern approach, when one person is responsible for football in general, and one person is responsible for managing. Then also we added head of analytics and head of performance. So let's say that we have much more staff now, because each of the heads of the departments, they have their own staff, 4, 5, 6 people, depends on the department, but the workflow is much better now. The exception is the head of scouting, which existed all the years of the academy life, let's say. And of course, that nothing changed in this perspective, and it is like it was like 10 years ago. Coming to a part of scheduling, making the calendar and conducting preparation period for the academy, I must say that unfortunately last year was the toughest, and I'd say the most important year in the history of the academy, and I think in the history of Ukrainian football in general, because of the invasion of Russia into Ukrainian territory and the full-scale war that came onto our heads. I must say that this was a very difficult year, and I've given mainly all the insights on the slides. I'll try to cover the points that are missing. First of all, the problem of coaches was that we couldn't manage to bring everyone abroad to the Croatia, to Split, where we had our temporary base, because of the law that males under 60 years old cannot leave the country without special permissions. And so this was the first and one of the biggest challenges of the academy, as well as the players leaving the academy and going into different clubs. Some of the clubs that stayed in Ukraine and were in more safer regions than Kiev, so mainly western regions of Ukraine is Lviv region and Zakarpattia region, and that are almost not affected, that were not affected by the war. And other players like going to good European clubs. We have plenty of clubs that were looking for our players. Unfortunately, using the situation that we were living in, we are happy that our players are in demand, let's say, but we also needed them. Unfortunately, we couldn't do anything about this, because this is the decision that players made, and during the war we needed to face the facts that maybe for them would be better also to go to another clubs and to be involved in a normal training process in the good clubs. About the planning, I think I outlined clearly the situation that we had with all the teams. The planning was almost impossible, and the only team that had almost normal planning was under 19. So I think it's better to review it, and I based the presentation on the preparation of the youth team to see clearly how we coped with the situation and what was our routine during the year and while the Ukrainian championship was ongoing and while the European competition was also ongoing. I'd say that the biggest challenge for under 19 was being away from the home and from the families for a long time. So the team was always traveling to Europe, to Warsaw, to Kiev, to Lviv, to other cities. So always traveling. Families cannot see each other, not only because of the war, but also because of the schedule that we had. As I mentioned in the presentation, no flights. Flights are banned throughout Ukraine, so all the transportation were made by bus. And I must say that the roads themselves in Ukraine are not the best. I mean, the surface and let's say the efficiency of the roads So even the 500 kilometers trip can take up to 8 hours sometimes. So this was very, very difficult for the team, and unfortunately, this may not change much in the upcoming season. So let's see what the preparation of under 19 is. The slides and the text is more than clear and more than informative, in my opinion. So what I want to add is that usual situation is that we gather everyone in Kiev and we train a couple of days in our base near Kiev, and only then we are scheduled to go abroad for the camp. Usually it's with the first team, and last year and I think the next year will be Netherlands, where we go to near Rotterdam to conduct our summer camp. Also, I want to point out one specific routine that we have is that under 19 and first team they go into the camp together, and sometimes players from under 19 they go to the first team to play games for them or to train with them, and sometimes players from the first team can come to under 19 and play. So I mean younger players, of course. So this is a little bit difficult to manage, but in general I think we are okay and more or less on the same page with the first team and this one. I would say that in terms of analyzing the performance, I mean the football performance and the physical performance of the guys and the medical situation that we have, in general we have very good basis for that, because we have very good communication with the first team, with the main club doctor, and with the coaches from the first team and the technology that they have. So actually, is majority of the issues that we face, we try to solve together, because the players of the under 19, the youth team, they are like let's say in a half step before the first team, so they're almost there. And usually as the season goes on, and before winter break and after winter break, we have 2-3 players going to the first team or going on loan to other teams, to the Ukrainian Premier League or other championships. So they must be treated like already players of the first team. This is more or less the idea. Looking at the season as it is now, I can say that what is the most important, that we managed to maintain our workflow and the style that we implement in the academy, and we really contributed a lot into the first team, and the first team really gained a lot from the players from the academy. And fortunately, this will continue next year, and I think next year the process will be even better. And as I already said, war or not war, we will continue to work even more efficient, because we already have this experience, and I think that next season and the preparation for the next season will be much more efficient. We will try to learn from our mistakes and learn from the situation that we had, and that we have actually, and we will be able to plan and to schedule accordingly to the challenge that we face. And I want to underline, in terms of the conclusions and future considerations, that for us the most important and the biggest achievement that we have is how many players from the academy are now playing in the first team of Shakhtar, or any other first teams or other teams of the Premier Leagues throughout Europe and all the world. This is the highest praise that we have and we can receive for our work that we do in the academy. And this I think will not change one way, in any way, because of the work that we do. Thanks to everyone, of course, that work in the club. And for us, this is the best appreciation that we can receive from our high management, that really our players that we provide from the academy, they are on the highest level possible in Ukraine, specifically playing in the national team, playing in the youth national team, and representing our country on the highest level. Thank you very much for your attention, and I think that the information given in this presentation will be useful, and that I've given more or less the transparent view of what we had during this important and difficult season for all the teams in Ukraine. Thank you.